You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the urban sports scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Wole, Glen, and Mo. The homie Ray Jeezy is out. What is good, fam?
Nothing much, man. All is well, man. Just happy to be here. We actually get a game this week, right? We get a game this week.
Football,
Excited
man.
about that football.
Real football, man. I ain't watched the Hall of Fame game, so I don't know. I ain't watch it though, so I don't know. But I mean, Mo, you were at the practice at FedEx. How was it, bro?
Man, I mean, it was some good things. I think the players that most people wouldn't know put on more of a show than the ones that people were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I took from it. We talk about the kid number 19 from the wide receiver group. I think he's
29 years old.
Yeah, I didn't know he was 29.
You weren't the only one. I told my boy he was there too. I told him the same thing. He was like, number 19 killing. I said, bro, he's 29. Chances are,
man, I didn't know he went undrafted back in 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
And then he showed up in 2 games for Carolina 1 year, but he's been mainly a practice squad player. But he had some juice in them legs, man. Like 1-on-1s, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11. It didn't matter the period. He scored in the red zone area when they were practicing. Like, he had a good showing. I mean, I don't think that it's going to amount to nothing for him except for a practice squad roster bid because of how the money is deciphered in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, of course.
But like it was what I didn't see that I was more shocked about.
Got you. I think the kid's name Markin, right? I think it's Markin.
Yeah, I think it's Markin Michael or Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. There you go, Michelle. Yeah. I heard a lot. I didn't go, but I heard a lot about him. He did. You're not the only one, Mo, that said he stood out. To be honest with you, a lot of folks have stated that homie balled out. So, but we got other stuff to talk about though. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything and hit us up on IG at ABG_everything and like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. And also make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel as well. Hit us with a subscribe or hit the little like button on the videos. They always feel good. Makes me feel good. Makes me
Indeed.
Make me feel good. Make me look good. I ain't gonna lie. It's a little bit of everything. Anyway, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll preview Saturday's preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. It's Washington's first preseason game. All right. So that Saturday goes down. I'm gonna start with you, Glenn. Do you think Carson Wentz should play in this preseason game against the Carolina Panthers?
Oh, most definitely, man. Carson Wentz should suit up, be ready to roll for this game. I'm going to tell you why. They spent money on this guy, got this guy in Washington. Fans want to see that if he does not play in this game, you have more questions than answers, right? I think he's not a Lamar Jackson, which what you're getting, right? Because Baltimore shut Lamar Jackson down for his preseason game. Carson Wentz has to play, has to be effective, and he needs to get in game-like situations and get comfortable with his receivers. It has to be this way. They have to play Carson Wentz. I'm not telling you got to play him for 2 quarters, play him for a quarter, play him for 2 series, whatever case may be. But he has to play this game against Carolina in order for the fan base to see where Carson Wentz is at. And guess what? I think Carson Wentz has to have a good showing in the 1 or 2 series that he does play, so we know what we can expect. And I'm not going to say the guy's name. That offensive coordinator needs to show what he can do with Carson Wentz in the 1 or 2 series that he does have Carson Wentz.
Mo?
I mean, I don't see no reason for Carson Wentz to play this week. I don't see no emphasis behind it. If this is the part of the preseason where they're going to be vanilla anyway, right? You're not going to show much. You might as well not risk the injury, not risk anything happening to him or any prominent player for this first preseason game, and just give him a little bit more of a load in the second preseason game, because now that we're short a preseason game from what it typically used to be and we're down to 3.
Yeah.
The second game has to serve like the third game you used to serve, right? That third game used to be the dress up. It used to be the one where they went
dress
out
rehearsal
there
game?
and the offense and
You said dress.
started.
You
Yeah, the
said
dress
dress
rehearsal.
rehearsal
That's
game.
the word, dress rehearsal. It was the dress rehearsal game I was trying to say. This is the dress rehearsal game. So then, to what Glenn was saying earlier, then I give him a quarter.
Yeah.
And depending on if I need to see more, like a series in the second quarter or something like that, and I yank them. But I know all my starters would be there.
Yeah.
I know that I would have had time to put together what my favorite first 15 plays are. We know we talk about offensive coordinators in their first 15, how they're going to go. They scripted plays and go over those and then try to get through that and leave it at that. Everything else can be figured out in practice, because that third game is going to be for the rookies and the young people to see who's on the bubble and who's not. Yeah. So I would just do everything how it used to be in the end, when the third preseason game was the dress rehearsal. So when it's down to 3, the second game would be the dress rehearsal. Just let them keep practicing.
See, that was so great about Tom Brady. That dude played the first game. He didn't care. He just played. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't play a lot, but he played in that first game. I'm on the side of saying he should play in the first game, because he's not. This organization isn't that team. You know what I mean? They're not that team. They're not the Rams who can sit people out. They're not Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like, you got to prove it to me when you start talking about sitting people. Like, you got to prove me that you about that life. You are a winner. Like, when you're look, man, and this regime they've been under 500 the first 2 seasons. Something got to change. They've been treating a lot of people like they're special, and you're not. And we told this is football. People get hurt. Like, you signed up for this. I know we trying to, try to avoid and try to protect people, but you signed up for this. And if you're the quarterback of this team, I'm not saying you gotta, be stupid out there, but you also could be responsible out there as the quarterback for this football team that needs you in preseason to kind of, do things correctly, keep yourself safe. But I would like, from the reports I've heard about Carson Wentz at camp, about not being accurate. I heard today he had his best practice in camp. I heard that the reports that he's had his best. He looked good, but there's an accuracy issue. Like, why not go against competition and see what you can do? I'm a big believer in, dude, what you do against your unit, your team, means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me, because in practice, you see these dudes all the time. You pick up tendencies or whatever. I need to see what you can do against. I don't care if it's vanilla. I don't care what it is. I need to know what you can do against competition that's not your own. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody outside of you. Like, I could play my brother one-on-one in basketball. I may be able to defend him better than other people. My brother's better than me, but I may be able to defend him because I'm used to him. I know certain things that he does, and vice versa. So that's because I know him, like, because we play ball together 24/7, like, practice against each other. Now I'm going against an opposition, somebody who don't know my tendencies or whatever. Compete against that, man. Like, I want to see you compete against that. So I don't expect him to see a 2 series. Like, he can see at least a series, see a series and go from there. But I don't need him to. I'm with you to that extent. I don't need him to go like the first after 1 series. If it's bad, like, he has to come back out there. You just got to work on him in practice after that. But I do want to see him compete. Like, I need to see these dudes compete against another team. Like, you competing against Washington's defense means nothing to me. Why? What was Washington's defense last year? It was trash. It was trash last year. You know what I mean? What was Washington's offense last year? It's trash. So I need to see you compete against somebody else to let me say, okay, if you're on the defense side of the ball and y'all playing, okay, at least I know you flying. If you flying, I'm like, okay, I can that works for me. If you throwing the football and you accurate, I'm okay with that. Like, if you're accurate, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Interceptions happen. I need to see you being accurate. I can't see you overthrowing folks 24/7. So I would like to see him play. No rebuttal. Anybody gonna say nothing about that?
No. I mean, you said it all.
Yeah, I just think, with this fan base, and especially in what we discussed on this show in previous installments, is that this team cannot afford to go back to Taylor Heineke because of something.
That's the next thing. Who says it's gonna be Taylor Heineke?
Whoever it ain't Sam Howell. I'll tell you that.
They say Sam Howell is better than all of them.
But Sam Howell I've seen multiple turnovers with Sam Howell. Like, he has some figuring out to do still.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he should start, but I'm also believe like you shouldn't just play scared football. Like, That scare. You shouldn't play scared football. Again, if you should play scared football. This is my belief. If you've done it and you doing it, then you can play scared football because you can be like, because you got people to back you up anyway. Like you have belief in the system and what you have. So you can play, if you had a Aaron Rodgers, right? You're established. That's an established brand. Like that's an established brand. You can say Aaron Rodgers, I need to sit you because I know you can carry us to the postseason. That's an established brand. Same thing for Lamar Jackson. When healthy, like that dude's a problem. That's an established brand. Right? Carson Wentz when he was younger was an established brand. He's not an established brand right now. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Like you can't tell me if Carson Wentz is healthy automatically that this team is going to be that 10 times better. We can hope compared to the quarterbacks they've had in the past that they should be better, but you can't tell me that that's automatically going to give you 11, 12 wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he'll give you more wins than Taylor Heineke.
No, I know what I'm saying, but it's not an automatic. Yeah. Like you can see, like for instance, I can paint a scenario where it doesn't work with Carson Wentz. It doesn't mean that he's not better than Taylor Heineke, but I can give you a picture of him not working here. Like I can envision it. Like I can.
Yeah, definitely that.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to be a lot of pieces thrown together, and he has to be. He's the main piece, right? Yes. He's the main piece that has to be able to flow. And if he's flowing, I think this team is flowing. I think the defense is flowing. I want to go back to Mo's point about Sam Howell. The guy that I'm going to next, if I'm the Washington Commanders, will be the guy that will be a true NFL quarterback, and I would think that'll be Sam Howell. We already did the Taylor Heineke experiment. It did not work, right? He can't be the quarterback. The only reason that he's still in Washington now because they gave him a contract, right? Let's be honest, they gave him some money. That's the only reason and he knows the offense. But once Sam Howell passes him, and I believe Sam Howell will pass him this year, we'll see it in the games in the third preseason game. In the third preseason game, truth be told, I think Sam Howell starts. Just to be honest with you.
And so that's the last preseason game, right?
The last preseason game.
Oh, he should start though. That's because he should though. He should.
But I'm saying not only start, but we're gonna be surprised at what he does with the people that he has on the field.
Oh,
I think we'll see the. I mean, we'll see the growth that he has because I think he has growth. I think he was a good quarterback in college, and I think he'll be able to do well in the NFL. Carson Wentz. I mean, I believe they should keep him healthy, but I think he needs to play for the fan base because again, the fan base is putting a lot on this guy. We as a fan base is putting a lot on him because we look at the weapons he have on offense. We look at what they got coming back on defense, and people are saying that this team could be a playoff team, and it rides with Carson Wentz. So why not show the new toy early?
Yeah, my thing is it shouldn't even be about the fans. Like I don't even think like they don't owe the fans nothing. Like in that response, like they owe their players, their team, and how they get ready to play on Sundays. And it starts now. Like for real, it starts now. Like you got to set a tone. Like you can't. Like Carson Wentz has to prove to you that he's about that life. And don't prove it to me against your own doesn't mean a damn thing. I'm sorry. It don't mean nothing to me. Like you got to show me something against somebody else. I don't care if it's vanilla. Like I really don't. I've seen Tom Brady look okay, and I've seen other dudes look all right in vanilla. I don't use Tom Brady. That's a bad example.
I'm about to say you got to stop.
Yeah, I got to stop using the GOAT. I got to stop using Tom Brady. But you know what I mean? I've seen other solid quarterbacks look good in vanilla. Like that's cool. I need you. Like both of you coach football. Like you can tell the quarterback's accurate. I don't need the play to be a vicious play. I just need it to be you to throw a football accurately. And I need to see that at least you're sharp. If you're sharp, I'm fine. You don't have to have like the best drive in the world. If you're throwing
and that's
sharp,
what I think. And that's what I think the problem is with Carson Wentz. As I was watching him at the practice, it seemed like he's taking too long to process.
Yeah, I see that.
It seemed like you remember the dial-up internet? It was like you can see he's like, okay, he's open. Now he throws it. I'm like,
He's a freestyle player, man. That's what he is. He's a freestyle. I've said that he's a freestyle player. That's the thing. He's like a player. I feel like he's a better game player than he is a practice player. That's just to me. That's what he is because he's a go with the flow player, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You know, it's a good thing and a bad thing.
I think we could table that on Carson Wentz. I think the real question about this preseason game is who are each one of us excited to see in the game. Like I mentioned earlier, there are players that were considered like that it shocked me that I didn't see them pop out at practice that I'm concerned about. And I'm not even being a fan, right? So I'll let you kick that off. Like, who is it that you want to? Who else is it on this team that you want to see something from? I think there's a couple of easy choices.
Actually, I'm gonna go left. So what
Okay.
Glenn said, I want to see Sam Howell. I want to see Diami. I think I have a good gist of what Jahan Dotson's all about. So I don't need to see him. I have a good gist of what he's all about. And I want to see the safeties that everybody's talking about. So I want to see Forrest, when Derek Forrest, Forrest. I want to see Percy. I want to see what he's about, Percy Butler, because everyone's talking about. I want to see for myself. But also in terms of the whole team is defensively, I want to see them flying to the football. Like I want to see aggression. I feel like you coach that off the bat. I don't care. Like you don't got to be scheming or anything. I want to see aggressive defense, and I don't want to see playing back or whatever. When you watch, I'm gonna use because they're up north. I'm gonna use them. When you look at the Ravens, when you see them play preseason, they play aggressive. Like that thing is not regular preseason. They try to cut your neck. Like their defense trying to cut your neck. Like they about war. You building a mentality, like you building that, like you building an anger problem, like an anger complex. I'm trying to take you out. Like I want that type of mentality for this defense. So I want to see that on the defensive side of the ball. I want to see aggression. I don't want to be like, oh, we just trying to play back. Nah, defense is about taking it away, like taking your soul. That's what defense is about, taking your soul. So in preseason, I want to see them taking souls early.
Touche. Glenn.
There's two players I want to see. They're both on the offensive side of the ball. One is Antonio Gibson, because they say he gotten bigger, put on some weight, and I want to see him be able to carry the rock. And when I say carry the rock, I want him to be able to go run downhill and gain those extra yards and fall forward and not backwards, right? Fall forward for the extra half a yard or extra 2 yards, to fall forward. You got bigger for a reason, and that's to fall forward and to get the extra yards. Also want to see him hang on to the football. That's a whole different thing. And the other person I want to see is Cam Sims. He got paid. You got your money, right? You got paid a little bit. You got some money, and now I need you to perform as a receiver. Have people in the fans something they expect from Cam Sims. I need Cam Sims to be Cam Sims and be able to go get the football and be able to get up there and not drop balls, catch balls, right? I know he dropped too many already, but we need him to catch footballs. And maybe with a different pass thrower, he'll be able to catch more balls. So I need Antonio Gibson and Cam Sims. Those are the ones that I'm looking for in this first preseason game. Next preseason game will change. Then I'll be more like Wole and look at the defensive side of the football. But right now, I need the offense to be able to put points on the board.
I think you guys had all great picks, but I think somebody that's cause for concern for me is Jamin Davis, being that he was a first-round draft pick. I've been looking to see reports on some improvement from him. I went to the practice and I was just looking at him in the linebacker drills. I was looking at him in the 7-on-7. I was looking at him in the 11-on-11, and I was wondering why he's not flashing. You know, last year we chalked it up to out of position, even though he bodes all this athletic ability. And when I was watching the practice, like it was a point in the practice where I didn't know where he was at. I didn't even know if he was on the field at certain points. So I think he's a big part of what's to come on defense, especially with Chase being out early, right? He should have an added element based off his draft status. And I also want to see the corners. I seen that William Jackson wasn't at the practice. I don't think Fuller got much activity.
Yeah, St. Juice though, right?
Yeah, St. Juice got beat a couple of times, but that's gonna happen. And I was actually impressed by I think it's the corner that you guys got in the 7th round, number 34. Don't know his name.
The safety or the corner?
He's a corner from Oklahoma State.
Okay.
He's a corner from Oklahoma State, man. He's a he's a good looking football player. Like in terms of he's built how a corner should be built, and he was showing some ability during the game, and especially on the line and in his zones. I think the only person that beat him, I think Terry's the person that beat him on that touchdown, but I'm not too sure it was him. But like he played on that side of the field a lot during the practice. So interested in seeing Jamin Davis try to make something of his first round draft pick status and make some worthy plays on the field.
Yeah, Jamin is going to be like Jamin. Like I've heard reports he's improved, so I won't like take that away. But I have heard what you're saying, Mo. Like you saw Mayo, right? You probably saw some Mayo, right? I have an issue with that. I feel like they're just having this kid struggle, and they're just making things so complicated for this kid. But yeah, I think that's a good one. I didn't think about. I forgot. I should be thinking about Davis, to be honest with you. I think Davis needs to play a lot though this preseason too. If this is an issue where he's getting limited, he's gonna be subbing in with Mayo, then you got to give him a lot of reps in preseason, like because Mayo ain't even close to his skill set in terms of talent. Like I never heard the reports in practice that Davis, they like the way Davis covers the backs. Yeah, he's versatile. He can cover backs and tight ends too. Like he's good at that. Talking about how he may need to pick up some size to take on blockers that make plays on the other end of the backfield. But I saw examples of him kind of showing that he could do that. But obviously he's still learning. You know what I'm saying? But I just put that on. I put that on a defense, man. Like on a Jack Del Rio as a defensive coordinator to put that kid in situations where he can give you those flash plays that you're talking about. Like, yeah, don't always coach someone's weakness. Coach to their strengths. So utilize what he does have. Like, he has that top of the line speed. He is violent upon contact. We've seen that. He can cover. You know what I mean? Do some things to like utilize that skill set rather than trying to make him into somebody that he's not.
Not right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm with you. Like the Jamin Davis thing, like I've heard some stuff. Like I've heard some stuff on Jamin. I'm trying to look for that cornerback you're talking about. But yeah, you're talking about Christian Holmes. Christian Holmes. Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking. Jamin is definitely a player that I do want to see ball out. But also, there's before we get into more of this preseason talk, I want to get your thoughts on what happened with Sam Mills III, the defensive line coach, who was fired, was let go today. And he's been with Rivera since the days in Carolina. Everybody knows his father. Father was one of the better linebackers in the NFL, undersized dude with heart at linebacker. And it was also on Ron's staff in Carolina. Yeah. Thought it was pretty weird that he fired him fired Sam Mills III, but I heard there was like some players on the defensive line that weren't fans of Sam Mills. But also, I wonder if like Sam Mills and Jack Del Rio even got along. That's a whole different thing. But I want to get your thoughts on it. Glenn, I'm gonna start with you first.
When you fire a coach in training camp,
the season like a month. Yeah, the season's not too far.
There has to be a personality issue. Something has to be going on.
Yeah.
Because you came into the season with this guy. You had all season to fire him. You had all that. There's something in the Washington organization that's going on that they're not sharing information about Sam Mills. There is something. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? It was an issue that's going on, whether it's players complaining, whether it's Jack Del Rio. You just don't make that maneuver or make that change this close to the season without having some valid reasons. It might even be personal. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, it will affect this defense a little bit moving forward. So you want to be able to put people in place. I'm interested to see who takes over. I didn't see the report.
Oh, it's the dude. It's It's the dude that's on. It was on the staff. Yeah, I forgot. I can't say his name. It's Zangoni. I can't even say his name. I'm not going to try it. But they have a guy already. They have a guy. He was on the staff. He's the new D9 coach.
I'm waiting for what comes out in the next day or two about why Sam Mills actually relieved of his duties and what was the issue. If we don't hear anything, let's go. Then it was a personal conflict between him and Rivera. or him and Del Rio that made him be released?
Yeah, go ahead, Mo.
I mean, I think that a lot of the expectations that people have had for the D line, I think, especially last year, and but especially last year, I think, like you guys have been saying, like I think something's been brewing for a little while, and I just think that the top just finally popped on it. I'm familiar. I just heard the story, but to speculate would mean, I would need a lot more information to even start to speculate. So, like you and Glenn said, I think that there's probably some philosophical differences that they discovered that they had, especially with the downtick in production last year, right? Even though Chase was out, being a prominent figure in that, and the timing is just wild. The timing is just wild to me. I think that's my take on it. The timing is wild. Like the season's supposed to start in almost a month. So now what do you do? What's the contingency plan? You know what I'm
saying? A lot of people trying to, because Warren Sapp was in the building working with the D-line. A lot of people think that maybe Warren Sapp
is not moving to Richmond or Ashburn, Virginia.
But he said, I ain't leaving Florida. That's what he said prior. He ain't leaving
Warren Sapp is not leaving that water. He like fishing, all of that. He's not doing none of that.
Then you got Ryan Kerrigan. There's words that Ryan Kerrigan may be the defensive line coach. There's the chatter.
That doesn't work. I mean, that doesn't work out. When you take a player who's not been removed for a long period of time and bring him back and coach the players that he played with, that doesn't work. That's like taking
I'm with you.
The dynamics of it doesn't work. It's like taking a high school kid who graduated last year and trying to be a volunteer coach the year after he graduates. It doesn't work.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, take some time first. You gotta let a couple cycles go through.
I just think that it's like, I do think it's personal or something between two individuals. I don't think it's Ron Rivera. I think Ron Rivera has had a long relationship with dude. So you know who you are. If you have that long of a relationship with somebody, chances are there is a bond there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a bond. So it could be the players or also the defensive coordinator. And the defensive coordinator didn't pick his staff. He's got Ron's staff, right? Jack Del Rio. These dudes ain't Jack Del Rio people. They Ron people. So, it's probably, a conflict in what they want to do defensively between the defensive line and what Jack Del Rio wants to do, and something ain't mesh right. And maybe Ron was like, all right, let me nip this in the bud before it becomes a bigger problem during the season. So that's how I look at it.
Del Rio, the one that need to go.
So what you say, Mo?
Del Rio's the one that needed to go.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying that's probably what happens. Keeping the buck. It's just like, and then I've heard that people aren't, and I've heard chatter that a lot of folks aren't big on Sam Mills. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, like Matt Ioannidis wasn't, from what I heard, don't know if it's true. Matt Ioannidis wasn't a big fan. He's not here no more. You have some of the people on the D line, some of the players on the D line aren't the biggest fans of him. So, I mean, you can use your imagination all you want, but they aren't the biggest fans of him. And why have that type of, issue during the season? So you probably had to, let him go. But I do think, to what Glenn's saying, we'll know the definite answer, especially here in Washington. We'll know the definite answer soon. Probably the Washington Post. It'll probably be in the Washington Post, but it'll be here very soon, because it was just weird. You know what I'm saying? Super weird. But before I end the show, is there anything you want to say in terms of this final preseason game? Any closing remarks?
Yeah. How many points do you think they score?
Shoot, this is a preseason game. I ain't scoring that much. They scoring about 17. If that. 17. I want the defense to show out and do some damage, but they're going to score 17. Washington will score 17.
I think the score is 20.
Score what?
I think the score is 20-17.
Oh, I don't get. Who's scoring 20? The Panthers. The Panthers probably gonna have more stars because they playing two quarterbacks for real. So They got competition. They got
Ooh,
two
that's true. That's true. Both of them have to play, right?
Yeah, they both gotta play. The Panthers have to show you something. Like they gotta show
Panthers,
you.
Yeah.
Panthers 2017.
Yeah, they're gonna play. Yeah, so they're gonna
I
have
got
a
I got to.
Go ahead. What you gonna say, Glenn?
No, I got to switch. I got Washington 20, Panthers 17 because of the two quarterbacks. Because you still got Baker Mayfield interception machine, and you got Donald as
Hey,
well,
man.
and their defense is not that great yet.
Oh, they got them. They got that dog back. What's that DN? The Florida State.
Burns.
Oh, he a dog. Burns a dog. I think Carolina. I mean, wins don't really matter, but I would say that Carolina's the favorite. The Carolina should win. Like you got two starting quarterbacks in competition. Like you should win. Like, and they'll probably keep certain starters in longer because it's a competition. Like they'll probably keep at least the linemen. Like some of the linemen may stay a little later for Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't put it past Rule. Like I think Rule would do something like that. He doesn't seem like he's a conventional coach to that extent. Like he'll do what he feels is going to work. But I think
both coaches on the hot seat. Both coaches on the hot seat.
Oh
anyway,
yeah, definitely. I just feel like when you look at this situation, like both of those quarterbacks have something to prove, and I'm not gonna put anything on what Washington does defensively until I see it. Like we know these quarterbacks are like both quarterbacks could be turnover prone, to be honest with you. But I gotta see it, man. I gotta see what this defense looks like. I saw what I saw last year. Like you gotta earn it now. Now you gotta earn it. We can't go off of the potential where you gotta earn it. Cause you showed us ugly. You showed us good in year like that the first year. Like we saw some good, but you showed us ugly last year. Like you showed us ugly. So if you show me ugly, I can only take you for what you show me. I don't care about your talent. I can only go off what you showed me last. So I need to see it. Like I need to see it. And I don't like the example where the defense look good in practice. Well, when they practice against a Scott Turner offense, they're gonna look all right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna look all right.
So you need to see the defense. Mo, who do you need to see? What side of the ball do you need to see step up? Offense or defense?
Oh, that's easy. Offense. That's easy offense. That's what sells tickets. That's what's gonna have fans talking. People want to see Carson. If it's not Carson, they want to see if Heineke has improved anything or can be a valuable backup. They want to see Brian Robinson. They want to see the young receivers. So I have to go offense. What I really want to see, what I really pay attention to in preseason games is that second unit line.
Yes.
Right. You get them all the bump that you can get them because you know one or two pieces of your offensive line is always going to miss a big chunk of the season. And you need to see who can come in, who can fill in, who can replace, who can swing, all of the kind of, who can play multiple positions, position versatility. So it's the offense.
That's good there. That's good there. I forgot about that. You need to see the offensive line. That's good stuff.
Yeah, you see the offensive line. I just need to see dogs, man. That's all I care about, man. Show me a dog.
No matter how, just
show me a dog.
11 people run in one direction, huh?
Yeah, I just want dogs, man. That's all I just want you to have that mentality. If you got a savage mentality, then you should be able to kind of what Timo's talking about. Like if the backups have a savage mentality, that says a lot about your whole unit. You know what I'm saying? If your backups, I don't care if it's offensive line, defensive line, whatever. If your backups are playing a certain way, that's a big indicator. Real talk. Like that's a big indicator.
The coaching.
The coaching. Seriously.
The coaching and the leadership.
Yep. That's why I use. It's funny, but that's why I use Baltimore as an example. You can watch their backups come into games, and you be like in preseason, you're like, oh.
But you see, once again, it's similar to the Tom Brady example. You're picking a franchise.
I know. I'm just saying, like, because it's
close. Picking a franchise has been entrenched.
But it's close, though. It's close, though. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't Baltimore like almost 8-0 in their last 8 preseason games?
Yeah, they haven't lost a single preseason game. They're crazy. Because it's a mentality. Because he don't want to lose. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because he don't. All right, people say Joe Gibbs. I love it. Joe Gibbs is different. Like he didn't care about preseason, and that's cool. Like, and he still, but he was an all-time great coach. It's different. Like that's different levels. Harbaugh's a great coach. Is an awesome coach. But that mentality is real though. Like everybody coach. You coach to win. Like that's what you do. When you coach to lose, you can become a loser. Like you make an environment of winning. Like your environment, that hardball is an environment of winning.
I just think those people pick better players than you guys.
No, some of those players aren't that great.
Think about it. Think about it, Wole.
No, be real.
Think about it.
Some of the backups.
Wole, they were the second most hurt team the first most hurt team in the league.
And still ball.
But
you know what? You're saying
and Lamar missed the last 4
you're
games.
saying talent, but it's not that. Because some of them players, them same players you're talking about, they go elsewhere and they're not the same dudes. Real talk. Some dudes go elsewhere and they're not the same dude. I'm telling you, they breed that thing. Like that joint is real. What they breed is real.
It's culture. It's culture. It's culture,
bro. It's coaching.
It's not only coaching, but
I'm not denying the culture.
It's coaching, and it's coaching, but it's also culture. When it's a culture of the program and culture of the organization. When you walk through certain organization doors, there's a certain expectation, or there's a certain level of winning. Yeah. There's a certain level of how to do things. And guess what? People buy that sauce. They drink the Kool-Aid, whatever acronym you want to use. When they walk through the doors, it is taught. Because guess what? When you go down to Alabama, it's a culture. They don't have better athletes. Sometimes some of them are better athletes, but some of them are not. Some of them is culture. Look at New England. It's the culture. When some of the players are not Hall of Famers, when they went and when they got into New England, either you do it the New England way or you don't do it at all. Yeah, and so it becomes culture. And that's reality. Washington hasn't gotten to that point yet where they don't even know which way they are. Let's be honest, right? We used to have a way, but Washington doesn't have a way anymore. They don't have. I've been saying this, and I've said this on all shows. Washington does not have an identity, and when they find who they are and they play to that identity, then they can be one of the playoff teams. They got to find an identity this year, and I hope they find it in the first preseason game.
Hey Mo, you wanted to say something. I want you to make sure you ain't cut off.
No. We covered it all.
All right.
We covered it all about this game.
But they do need an identity though. That's real talk. They need.
They definitely need an identity, but you know who that starts with. And if we say that name, it's kind of like the boogeyman. We'll be here for another 40
You're right though. But you're right though.
So
I already said it. I said his name once. You know what I'm saying? I think I said it once. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at one because I don't even pop up on my timeline.
We're gonna have to wait and see on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So tell the fans where they can find the podcast, man, so we can send them off.
Facts. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channels as well. Anyway, this has been a dope show. Always appreciate the homies Mo and Glen for this, doing the damn thing.
Indeed.
Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega, lead us out, big homie.